Hi everyone, and welcome to our first session. Today we're going to cover the installation process for R and RStudio in Windows and Mac respectively. So go ahead and feel free to just watch the part of the video that applies to your computer situation. And then we're going to wrap up today by covering how to upload a data set into R once we get it downloaded. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so now I'm going to walk you guys through how to download R onto a Windows computer. So for the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open up whatever internet browser you prefer and go to this website I've indicated here, cran.rproject.org, and we're doing the Windows download. All you have to do is click on this big download R 3.5.2 for Windows, and it should begin the download. After you click on that, what you should see down in the left-hand corner of your screen is the actual dialog box showing that the installer is downloading. Once that's done, you'll begin to see all of the prompt screens that you have to work through in order to download this. Now, the good news is that this is very intuitive. The default settings are just fine. If you don't want to mess with it, you can really just basically click through, but we'll walk through all of them. So you can choose your install language that you prefer. I'm using English. Then we have our license agreement, which of course we all read thoroughly in detail, and we'll select next when we're done. You can choose there's a default storage location. If you decide that you want to store R somewhere else, you're certainly welcome to save it elsewhere, but the default location has worked fine for me in the past. Click Next. The components, don't mess with anything here. Just make sure that all of those boxes are checked. They'll be checked by default. And then click Next. Again, this is just another default. I left it just as R. Again, click Next. If you'd like to create a desktop shortcut for yourself, you can certainly click that button. It might be useful because you guys will be using R a lot this semester. And then Next, and now it'll actually start installing. And once that's done, then you'll see the final finish wizard, a final window showing that it's actually set up. So R is done. You can, if you don't want to use RStudio, I don't think you have to, but it's much, the user interface is much more appealing in RStudio, so we'll walk through that process next. So now what you guys are going to do is go to rstudio.com to the download link. And again, we're using the free download. You can just click on that download button right there. And then it'll take you down and show you all of these different options. Now, of course, for Windows, you just select that first option. And it'll open up, again, the setup wizard. So again, just click through here. So we'll do Next. Again, if you want to store RStudio somewhere else, you are more than welcome to. And then it'll start the installation process. And again, you'll see that completing RStudio Setup Wizard box. You'll be finished. And then you can actually open RStudio and get started. All right, so now we're going to cover how to download R and RStudio onto a Mac. So first things first, we'll go to our trusty homepage, and you're going to enter the website that I've indicated here, cran.rproject.org, and just click on that download link right there, and you'll see it's started. And as soon as the installer package is downloaded, it'll open up. We'll see that in, right, go. So we can open that up. And now we'll just walk through the installer. Everything's really intuitive. You don't have to change any of the defaults unless you just want to. So we're just going to hit continue. If you're looking over this, of course, it's the license agreement, so we need to read this, read the license, and then agree. And you probably won't see this screen if you're installing on your personal computer. Here you can go with the default setting, or you can change the installation location if you would like. If your computer is password protected, you may need to give it authorization to complete the download. And this will just work through here. It's a really fast download. I was doing this on our campus's Wi-Fi and it's not great, so it shouldn't be too bad for you guys. All right, perfect. So installation was successful. And if you're given the option, you can, of course, move the installer to the trash. Now remember, you guys, if you're Mac users, you have to also download Xcorts. R is just not going to work properly without it. So I'm going to click on that link, installer, it's downloaded, open that guy up. The Quartz installer package actually took a little bit longer than R itself, so we'll just walk through this real quickly. We can open that up. That's our installation wizard. Let's move that to the front here. Perfect. And now we'll just walk through this. Again, license agreement. We read the license and we agree. Perfect. Okay, again, passwords if you need it. Install. Awesome. That's going to take a little while, so I'm going to go ahead and end that video right there. And now we can move on to actually installing RStudio. Okay, so now that we have R downloaded, we can move on to RStudio, which is another free download from the internet. So we'll go ahead and go to rstudio.com. You'll see the full link there. You can also just Google RStudio download and it should pull up. Now again, we're choosing the free option. And when you hit that download button or that download button, it'll take you down and we'll just select the link there for Mac, and the installer will start downloading. And as soon as it's downloaded, you can open that guy up. And now all we have to do here is click on RStudio and pull this over here. We can see. Okay, so yes, even though it's downloaded from the internet, we do want to actually open it. And you should see this open up right here. Perfect. Now we're ready to work. All right, now that we have R and RStudio downloaded onto our machines, let's go ahead and cover how to upload a data set from a different source into R. So first thing you're going to always do when you open up R and start a new homework assignment is that you're going to start a new R script file. And this is what you guys are going to be trained in. So you can do that here, this little button. Now I've already started, I already have the script file for this, this part here. So let's walk through that. The first thing you're going to want to always do is use this rmlist command. And what that will do is that will clear out your environment and anything that else that you've been working on, so you're starting over with a blank slate. Next thing we're going to want to do is set the working directory. Our working directory is where R is going to pull any files that we need to pull in. It's also where things are going to be, files are going to be saved. as we're working along. So you want to make sure that that working directory is correct and that all the information files that you need are actually stored in that folder. What I like to do is set an individual folder for each homework assignment. You all might find that a helpful organizational tool. So now that we've set our working directory, we'll set the seed. And that's not as important for this homework assignment, but what that will help us do later on is recover your exact answers when we're checking your code. So it's a good thing to just always put at the beginning of your R script files. Now our next step, you all, unless you've used R before, you'll most likely need to install this package that we're going to need to use to read in our Stata data set, and that's read Stata 13. So you'll use this line of code. Now, I've already installed this package, so I'm going to go ahead and comment that out and just call the package in using the library command. All right, perfect. So we've got that. Now we're going to start with the CSV data set. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to name the object that we're creating the data set in. So I'm naming it CSV data, and then we use the command read.csv to pull in this file that's again saved in my working directory. All right, and we can see over in the environment that it's pulled in. We can kind of check it out. We'll cover more how to use these kind of checkers, but one way that I like to make sure that my data sets have read in properly is to use the head command. And that'll show you down here in the console the first few observations and all of our variables. So you can see it looks like everything uploaded correctly. Now for the Stata data set, I'm using the same data set, it's just in a different format, so we need a different command. Just for clarity's sake, I'm naming it something different. So we've got Stata data here, and our command is read data 13. Run that, and it looks like over here, perfect, looks good, but let's run that head command and just double check. All right, and again, everything looks good. It looks the same as our first data set at least. So for right now, we'll assume that everything worked correctly. It really is that simple. If you all have any questions either about downloading R Studio or getting your first data sets uploaded, please stop by and see me. There are lots of really good resources online, but I'm here to help as well.